Welcome back to another week of Jacked Up Recaps. I'm Cody Lefkowitz, the voice of your Jackalopes. This week, we're going to be in with defenseman number 6 in your scorebooks, Christian Hausinger. And Christian, let's talk about the last weekend a little bit. You guys are in Topeka playing the last place Roadrunners. Thought you were going to have a pretty good chance to win both games, sweep the series, keep the pace with Corpus Christi. Didn't happen. It started off a little bit sloppy.
Yeah, I think our mentality was to go in there, get all 4 points pretty comfortably, and I think that we took them for granted. We had the lead on them both games, and I think we kind of took our foot off the gas a little bit, and they came and creeped back up into us, and I think that's our mentality of thinking that we were going to take all 4 just kind of overpowered everything, and they snuck 2 games by us.
And you could see it was kind of coming that way from the start, but you guys really dominated the weekend, and it showed really in that first 18 seconds of even game one. You guys dominated the zone for 15 seconds, one little mistake at the blue line, a defensive breakdown, and they just had to break away the other way. And, Johnny played amazing as he could, but the breakaways always seem to be the ones that get him.
Yeah, definitely. When you dominate for like 15 seconds right at the beginning of the game, and one mistake happens and they go in and score, it's not a good start you want to have, especially the first 30 seconds of the game being down 1-0 is not good to have as a morale and a team mentality. But I think we bounced back pretty well against them, and but I think we took our foot off the gas a little bit after we took the lead, and after we recouped after going down 1-0, and they just came back on us.
Yeah, you guys were able to bounce back pretty well. Zach came in, got the first goal of the game, and then you came in, got yourself a goal, and scoring a little bit more and more here for you recently, but then bad turn of events. You got kneed there in the neutral zone, and it took you out, kind of hit and miss on the rest of the shifts for the day, and then you ended up actually missing Saturday as well.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I got kneed, and when it first happened, I thought it was just a dead leg, but turned out that my knee was feeling a little loose, and I ended up hurting my knee pretty bad. So it's unfortunate. It was nice to get a goal and to play through that first game, but I think that injury just kept me out of the second game, and I wasn't able to go.
The team made a little bit of a switch at goaltender as well, and Johnny Hogue in the first game, John Flackney the second game. It was about the same. Really, talking with some of the players, it was the first weekend that you guys had huge defensive lapses. Usually a little bit more of a defensive team, and, without 2 of your top defenders and then the third one yourself there on Saturday, it's kind of hard to say, ifs and whats, and if you guys were healthy, what it could have been.
Right, and you're right about that. I think that we weren't as sharp as we always are defensively as a unit, as a team, even our forwards playing defensively and our defensemen playing defensively. I think we weren't there as a unit together like we always are. And, it sucks having top defensive players out, but it's one of those things in junior hockey. You have to battle through adversity, and we just had a tough time trying to battle through it this weekend.
Some of the guys that played really well, though, Zach, 5 points on the weekend. Ludwig Stenlin, I believe, had 4 points on the weekend, including 2 goals apiece. Those guys are really starting to hit their stride, and I feel that the forwards are starting to hit their stride. You could see the scoring is up a little bit more than it has been in the past. What does that bode for the future?
That scoring from our top line right there, that's going to provide energy for our other lines. That's going to bring them to want to put up their game and produce as well as they see our first line and our top players doing that. That's going to want to give them that morale and boost to start producing as well. And I think it's huge that our top guys are starting to produce more, and we're putting up more goals. And once you get that, all you have to do is worry about the defensive side of it, because once you're scoring goals, you don't have to worry about it anymore. You just got to worry about the defensive side of it.
Now this weekend, you guys are home again for the next 5 days and then go back on the road. Road trips take a big toll on you. But you're playing Corpus Christi. They're the team in 4th place right now. You guys are in 6th. And, this is a pretty big weekend. What's the mentality here in the locker room this week and, even at the end of last week?
As plain and simple, it's their must-win games. This is playoffs right now for us. They got 8 points on us, and we could close the gap to 4 if we can take all 4 from them, and we have that playoff mentality in here. We got to be focused. We got to be sharp, and I think everybody knows that how important these games are. And down the stretch, these are going to be big points, especially coming down to the last games of the season for that last spot, or even creeping into that third or second slot. These are big points.
All right, now let's go on. Let's do a Meet the Players segment where the people at home are going to get to know a little bit more about their defenseman, Christian Hausinger. So let's start. You're from Anchorage, Alaska, all the way out there. It's either you guys or Hawaii that always gets a little bit of stuff here from the continental states. And, how did you find your way from Alaska all the way down here to West Texas?
It was a long journey, but all my life I've been playing hockey, and when I was 13 years old, I decided to move from Alaska to play hockey and, try to find a career in it. And I moved down to California to play youth hockey, AAA, and ever since then I've been bouncing from state to state. I've been all the way to Maryland on the East Coast. I've been to Las Vegas, California, and I think when I was in Maryland, that's when the Jackalopes found me and they drafted me. In my first year I came here, and then I had a spell out in Nebraska, and then I ended up coming back. But yeah, junior hockey and the Jacks, they found me from just playing AAA and out east, and I think that's how I got a reputation, and that's how I came here.
And then they didn't only find you, they found your brother Kenny as well. And, there have been so many brother combos that have played together on the Jacks. What does it feel like for you being able to play, even if it's just 1 year, with your brother Kenny and, having that sibling rivalry even just on the same team?
Yeah, we definitely had that competitiveness against each other, especially on the ice. He would always keep me in check if I'm having a bad game. If he's having one, we kind of feed off each other, and that's just how we grew up, like being competitive together. And I got to live with him all year, so it felt like I had some family here. So it wasn't like I was all alone here in West Texas, and just that fighting spirit that we had between each other really kept us on our game that year, and it was really nice to have him here.
Now, before you were a Jack, you played in high school, Diamond High up there in Anchorage, and people may not know this about you, but you actually won a state championship with them. What was the feeling that year, and do you think that you could ever reciprocate that feeling?
It was a great feeling, especially because we were down that game early, and I actually was fortunate enough to get a goal in that game. And that feeling of winning a championship like that, being the best team in the league, is something that is really hard to achieve, but the feeling is undescribable. And I think it was an amazing experience, and that's what I want to hope for again here with the Jacks.
Now, you played 1 year in the USPHL Elite. In that year, 33 points in just under 30 games. You've always been a little bit of an offensive defenseman, but still lockdown defense when the time needs it. How did you become this sort of a player? Was it the coaching? Was it just your own efforts? Was it that little competition with your brother?
That definitely played a part. I think I hit an offensive stride my first year of 16s, and it kind of just came naturally, and I started to put up points without really realizing that, I was considered an offensive defenseman, and that part just came naturally 1 year, and I started to work more and more on my skills, and by the time I knew what I had with offensive skills, I thought it was time to, lock down defensively, and I think that's what strived me to become a complete defenseman and play both sides of the ice. And
now let's go on. Let's do a little thing called rapid fire questions, where we have a small list of questions for you, and we'll see how quickly you can get at them. Okay. So let's start it off. Nickname amongst the team.
They call me Haas.
Now, what's your favorite hockey team? Being from Alaska, you sort of get your pick.
New Jersey Devils.
If there was one player out there that you say that you would try to mold yourself after, what player would it be?
I'd say PK Subban plays a complete game, just how I want to play.
Now, do you have any pre-game rituals before the games begin?
Yes, I take a nap before every game. Have to.
What about superstitions, whether it be before, during, after the game?
I play soccer before every game, just play around with a soccer ball every game. I have to.
Now, do you have a favorite food that you like to have on game day?
Yeah, on game day, I love Jersey Mike's. I will eat Jersey Mike's every day for game day.
What about just normally? Any food that's your go-to?
Baby back ribs. Yeah.
Now, what about a favorite movie?
My favorite movie is Saving Private Ryan.
Now, if you could go on a dream date with anybody in the world, who would it be?
I'd go on a dream date with Margot Robbie.
That's a pretty good one. Yeah. What about a superpower? Any superpower?
I'd want to be invisible.
A spirit animal?
The bald eagle.
If you could go out and sing one karaoke song, what would that karaoke song be?
Living on a Prayer.
It's a good one, right?
Yeah.
Bon Jovi.
Yeah, it is.
And then, are there any hidden talents that the people at home may not know about you?
Yeah, I've got mad FIFA skills on the Xbox, so I'm one of the best in the country.
One of the best in the country. He self-proclaimed, right?
Self-proclaimed, of course.
All right, thanks, Christian.
Thank you.
Next edition of Jacked Up. You can follow us along on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter all season long, or go on to jackalopes.org.